Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit from Puzzleheaded255, and it says, Am I the arsehole for refusing to recover at home after surgery? I, 29 female, am really disappointed with my husband, 30 male, and furious at his mother, hag-aged female. Sorry this is so long, and throwaway for privacy. For context, my husband is from the West Coast, where his mother still lives. He moved to the East Coast for college, and that's where we met, after graduation. In the start of our relationship, she would visit 3 to 4 times a year and make him take PTO so he could entertain her throughout her visit. After 2 years of this, while we were still dating, I asked him how we are ever meant to go on vacation together if his PTO is spent at home with his visiting mother. We agreed to save PTO for a trip to Europe we took in 2023, and he agreed to tell his mother he couldn't take off from work every time she visited. In my last job, I was able to work from home 4 days a week, and every time she visited, she sulked all day like a puppy who's had her toys taken away. But once my husband came home, a switch flicked and she was happy and clingy again. So here's the issue now. Husband and I moved states about 6 months ago, closer to my family. I have a new doctor who recommended me for surgery that my old doc kept putting off. It's not a complicated procedure, and it will greatly increase my quality of life for decades. My mother-in-law decided she's due for a visit and wants to explore our new town, and she had come to help around the house while OP recovers. I'm going to be out of surgery and in pain, and I don't really want to put up with her energy. However, we agreed, with my husband saying this isn't a sightseeing visit. She's here to help out, cook, clean, laundry, etc., so I can rest and recover. She can come for a proper visit later in the year. My husband dropped me off at the hospital on Wednesday. It was meant to be surgery, then one night overnight at the hospital for observations. On Thursday, the doctor told me my labs were not where he'd like them to be, and I should stay another night for observation and do lab work in the morning. I called my husband and told him that I'd hopefully be home the next day over the phone, early afternoon. He did not visit on Thursday at all. On Friday, I was discharged and called my husband to tell him that I'd be ready in about an hour. It went straight to voicemail, and I figured he's probably in a meeting and I'll try again in a little bit. After calling a few times over the course of over an hour, I called my sister, who was lucky enough to be excused from work for the afternoon. Many thanks to her understanding boss. She drove 19 minutes to get me and took me home, and the house was in shambles. Laundry baskets on the dining room table, the litter box not cleaned since Wednesday morning, days of dirty plates in the sink, etc. I just broke down crying. She packed me a bag and took me to her apartment to recover for 2 weeks. On Friday night, my husband called me asking me where I am, and that the hospital said I was already discharged. He'd been on a hike with his mother and there was no cell phone service, so he missed my calls. Which also meant he took PTO for his mum's visit again. Obviously, I can't ban him from taking PTO, but wouldn't you rather spend that freed up time with your wife at the hospital instead of on a date with your mum? I told him that I no longer feel comfortable recovering in our house and I won't be returning until it's thoroughly cleaned and his mother is gone. He's calling me the arsehole because his mother just wanted to get to know our new area and I wasn't able to leave the hospital anyway, and that was making a big deal out of this. I yelled that he essentially abandoned me at the hospital and entertained someone whose being here was to help make recovery easier, not more stressful, and that she was here for support, not on a vacation. Maybe it's just the pain and pain meds, but am I in the wrong here? Is this a stupid hill to die on? There's a part of me telling me to see a divorce lawyer just to see what my options are, because I'm not sure this will ever change. I know this is going to sound incredibly selfish, but I want kids, but now I don't see myself having any with my husband in a foreseeable future. And if this isn't going to work out, I don't want to spend the next 5 years of wasting time and money on therapy and missing a chance to find someone I can actually start a family with. Someone who can be a committed father and husband before he's a son. Many thanks to anyone who's read all of this. After the very first paragraph on this one, I was like, here we go. It's a mummy boy issue again. This dude literally abandoned you at the hospital after having major surgery while you were there calling repeatedly for a pickup. That's not just miscommunication. He made choices and showed who his priority was again. The fact that he took PTO again after you had a discussion that he wouldn't do that to go hiking with his mum instead of, I don't know, caring for his recovering wife tells you everything that you need to know. But you know you're crazy says he left you alone in the hospital. He went somewhere without cell service when he knew you were being discharged. He didn't call you back until that night, hours after you were meant to be discharged. This man is ridiculous and that is unforgivable. Let his mum have him. You are not overreacting thinking about divorce and you are definitely not the arsehole. Edit. Thank you all for the upvotes and awards. Lemon Cake says this. Being unreachable while your wife is in the hospital is despicable. But he must have had missed calls and messages from her because she called him when they wanted to discharge her. Did he not have fucking voicemails from her that said, "Hey babe, where are you? They want to discharge me. I need you to come pick me up." And he never called her back. The alienated penguin says, it is despicable and unforgivable. Then the house on top of it. I don't think I could come back from that. Beth says, he's a next of kin. Who's going to make medical decisions if there had been an emergency or she required further surgery and couldn't consent? This man isn't worth the carbon he's made from. And another commenter says, what the flying fuck? He is the arsehole. His mother is the arsehole. You are not the arsehole. No, I didn't fall on caps lock. I'm mad. Not the arsehole. Additional, this is not a stupid hill to die on. You're dying alone on that hill because your husband will be hiking with his mother around the hill and ignore you. Go and see a lawyer. He left you when you needed him the most. So it was a month after this that OP came in with an update and said, hi all. I posted a month ago about my husband basically abandoning me at the hospital to entertain his visiting mother. I thought I'd post an update. We're done. I'm still at my sister's place and my boss is letting me work remotely due to the commute. But I have an apartment I'm moving into in July that's a 10-minute drive from my job. Thank you to everyone who responded. It was a bit overwhelming. I went into defensive mode and thought I put my husband in a bad light, but you all really slapped the rose-colored glasses off me. We spoke on the phone every day the first week I was away. He asked his mother to leave ASAP so I would feel comfortable coming back home. After a week I told him I still needed space and I was coming the next day to grab more things. Once he saw that I had an empty bag and my sister brought 2 empty pieces of luggage, he realized I'm taking a lot because I'm not planning to come back soon. He asked to talk and I figured we should get it done and over with. I told him we needed to separate. He tried to argue that his mother only visits a few weeks out of the year and that things are great otherwise. I told him that the issue is he expects me to be okay during those weeks with him ignoring my feelings to cater to hers. I said things don't magically go back to normal once she leaves. There's resentment towards him for weeks for him doing it again and self-hatred for me for allowing it to happen again. He asked to go back to couples therapy. I told him it didn't work last time. We had a great therapist who helped him put boundaries in place and to be able to deliver consequences when his mother overreached. But as soon as she'd arrive, she'd break one boundary, he'd let it pass, and then she had carte blanche to stomp on them all. And when I tried to reinforce them, I'd get no support and I'd be the bad guy. Here's where I may have been a bit mean. I told him I'm turning 30 this year and I want to start a family, but I can't see starting one with him. If he can't put me first when I'm just out of surgery, why would I think he'd put our children first? I reminded him that his mother is retiring in less than 10 years. What happens when she decides she's frail and lonely? I asked him if he'd move in with her, whether I was okay with it or not. He replied, I'm all she has. It really hit me then. This was not the life I thought we were building together. It was not the life I wanted or could settle for. He asked if he was really that bad of a husband. I sort of lied and said, no, but you're just not the husband I need. I told him he either needs a wife who's okay with being the side piece in his relationship with his mother, or no wife at all. I left with my sister and 10 minutes into the ride back to her place, his mother called me. I sent it to voicemail. I started laughing and my sister asked what was so funny. I said the first thing he did was call his mummy and tattle on me for leaving. Papers have been served and it's been pretty amicable so far. Fingers crossed. Commenter says, good for you for standing up for yourself. Another commenter says he called his mum immediately. Congratulations on ditching that loser baby man boy. Another commenter says if OP needs any other indications that she did the best thing for herself, this detail right here. Another commenter says he already has a wife. Her name is Mummy. And one more comment from Feisty Plankton who says, yep, he's a great husband to Mummy and a shit one to OP. And OP definitely made the right decision for themselves. We've seen this time and time again in these stories where they don't change. And it sounded from his responses that he wasn't going to change either. I did chuckle, the fact that he did call his mum straight after was quite funny. And I was kind of hoping that, you know, her bringing this up to him, it was going to give him like a clarity moment of like, oh shit, maybe I need to change. Even if I'm going to lose my wife in this, I need to change going forward. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now this next story was cross-posted across to our own subreddit r/Mark Narrations from Julie Bigger Bear, who says, if Mark hasn't already read this, I would love it if he would. And if he would keep us up to date on what's going on with this lady. I sure hope she gets out of everything okay. But the story itself is from a throwaway account and the story is titled, Am I the Arsehole Here for Wanting to Accept a Promotion, even though my boyfriend says it's not the kind of life he wants. I, 25 female, just got offered a pretty huge promotion at work. From being a coordinator for one business unit to becoming a global coordinator. It's a big jump, both in responsibilities and salary. I've been promoted every year since I started here. It's been 3 years, and this role is honestly something I never thought I'd reach this soon. It would be a big deal financially and career-wise. The only catch is that it involves some travel. The company is actually trying to reduce travel costs, so it wouldn't be constant. We have 4 business units in different parts of the world. Europe, Asia, South America, and I probably go to each once a year, for about a week each. So in total, like 4 weeks a year. My boyfriend, 32 male, is not really okay with that. He didn't give me a direct ultimatum, but when I brought it up again, after he already told me how he feels, he basically said that if I keep pushing for something he's clearly not comfortable with, that I must know what I truly want, and that I should just pack my bags and leave. It really hurt to hear that. I get where he's coming from though. He wants a stable life, someone more family focused, and he's been upfront about that since the beginning. But so have I about not wanting kids until 30. Thing is, I've started to care more about those values too since being with him, but at the same time I've always dreamed of having a successful career. I've worked my ass off for this, and honestly, if teenage me could see where I could head towards now, doing work I love, getting recognition, making good money, and even getting to travel, she'd be amazed by the opportunity. I don't want to choose between love and ambition. I really care about him, and I don't want to lose what we have. But I also don't want to say no to something I've wanted for so long, and then spend years wondering, what if? Am I the arsehole for wanting both? Dog Mum says to the OP, take the promotion. Your boyfriend can decide if he wants to stay with you, but you should not lower your ambitions to keep him. You're very young and should embrace this opportunity. It will impact your entire career and set you up for a better life if you decide to have a family when you're ready. With the right partner, you can value both love and professional success. Congratulations. Astronomer Original says, this is the time to build your career before you have kids. You will regret it and probably resent him if you don't take this opportunity. 4 weeks isn't huge if there aren't kids involved. Will you make more money than him? He should be proud and supportive of your advancement. Explain to him that you want to take this opportunity and let him decide if he wants to stay with you. If he does not, you're better off. Jumrick Ping says, not the arsehole. You are 25, he's 32. You're in different places in life. He's at a stage where he wants to settle down and enjoy the life he's built. You still have to build yours. I suspect that if you give up your career for domesticity at the stage of life you're at, you'll regret it and resent him. So take the job. and the next, and keep going so until you're in a place where you feel ready to stop. And if he's still around then, great. If he isn't, then someone better will be. Croft Survivor says, not the arsehole. There's something seriously wrong with his reaction here. We've been offered a major promotion and have been clear about not wanting to start a family for another 5 years. This is the best possible outcome. 5 years is plenty of time to grow in this position, save money towards the future, and possibly grow into another position that doesn't require as much travel. Although 4 weeks a year isn't much travel to begin with, and his reaction is to tell you to pack your bags and leave if you don't follow his orders and turn down a fantastic promotion. That's a seriously insane level of controlling behavior. Please take this promotion. Either he comes to his senses or he winds up alone. But also, protect your birth control method. This type of behavior is usually followed by tampering with birth control. And I just feel like a supportive partner would be celebrating this incredible achievement with you. You know, there can be some concerns about travel, etc., but you work those things out together. But ultimately, you celebrate this as a win for the both of you. But he's essentially given you an ultimatum and disguised it as, I'm just being honest about what I want. And if he can't survive 4 weeks out of the year without you, and these are separate weeks by the sounds of it as well, so 1 week at a time, then it's probably not going to survive much else that life is going to throw at you. Marriage, kids, emergencies, other job changes, all of which will require some level of flexibility and compromise as well. So for him to say, pack your bags, was manipulative as hell. And I personally think if you don't take it, then you will resent him in the future. But OP adds their first edit/update on the post and says, first of all, thank you so much to everyone who took a few minutes of their lives to share their thoughts with me. I know I ask strangers on the internet for advice, but I often feel overwhelmed and stuck in my own head. And your objective perspectives really help bring some clarity. I'm sorry I couldn't reply and keep up with all the messages. I honestly did not expect so many responses. Oh my god. I tried to talk to him and find some kind of middle ground. I explained that there's only 4 weeks per year abroad and that I already spoke to my manager to make sure the traveling will not exceed 10% of my working time. But now it seems like that is not enough either. He's starting to bring up other issues, not just the traveling. He does not like that I might need to adjust my working hours to match other time zones. Well, that is partly true. I'll still only work 8 hours a day, just maybe on a different schedule once a week. He's also worried about the people I might meet, especially the men. He does not like the idea of me going to dinners with clients or sleeping in hotel rooms alone, because he might not be able to join me on each work trip. Also, he told me he won't accept me going on dinners while he waits for me in the hotel room. He does not like me talking to co-workers during breaks, which is why he insists I call him on every break I get. He gets annoyed if I do not reply to his text right away or if it takes me 30 minutes to answer. He wants me to send him my calendar daily so he knows exactly when I have meetings. And if I do not let him know about every single work-related conversation with men, whether it is co-workers, suppliers or trainers, he gets upset and says I'm hiding things. He has very strong boundaries when it comes to my work. No becoming friends with male co-workers, which I accepted without issues, because anyways I don't socialize at work at all. No casual or funny tone in messages or emails, no emojis, no hanging out after work, no sharing personal numbers with male colleagues unless he agrees with it. 2 weeks ago I went to a 3-day training in another city. I had to commute 4 hours every day because he did not want me to sleep at a hotel. On the last day, one of the participants suggested making a group chat so we could keep in touch professionally. I forgot to mention it right away, and when I told him the next day, he got mad and made me get up at 1 AM to show him the chat. He is just very jealous when it comes to my professional life. All this because before I met him, one of my co-workers, a man, became a good friend. I had to cut contact and block that person once we got together, and I have never given him any reason to doubt me. Sometimes I feel like giving up everything and just getting a basic job, like working in a supermarket. Not that there is anything wrong with that, but I mean quitting the career I love, just so he will finally stop trying to control me. But then I remember how much I love what I do and how lucky I am to have found something I'm passionate about. Hope he adds another edit/update and says, sorry, this will be long. For anyone wondering how I didn't see it until now, I honestly think it was gaslighting. Never thought I would say this, but some strangers, some meaning 10k, holy shit, made me realize how fucked up my life is. Looking back, here's the stuff that happened. At first, everything felt amazing. But even in the first couple of months, I noticed he was kind of possessive. But then I thought he was sweet and caring, especially coming from a relationship with a distant, cold, and indifferent boyfriend. I've always had more of an avoidant attachment style, so his need for closeness felt like a lot, but I tried to adjust. He quickly started pushing me away from all my guy friends. Within 6 months, I had blocked literally all of them. We moved in together, and he slowly started micromanaging my whole life. When he was at work 13 hours without his phone, he expected me to write him down in our Insta-convo everything I did. Like when I left the house, went to the store, had an appointment, got home, so he could basically see a full timeline of my day. He got in between me and my family too, suggested I only visited them when he was working, so I wouldn't waste any of our time together. I had to go everywhere with him, even if it meant sitting in silence while he hung out with a bunch of dudes talking about stuff I had no connection to. He started giving opinions on how I looked, told me I lost too much weight, and told me I gained weight. After surgery and a long recovery, he pressured me for 3 months straight to get back into shape. Wanted us to be a gym couple like him. In the first year, I wasn't even allowed to go to the gym unless it was with him. He checked and validated my outfits before I left the house. And I dressed super modest, more like an old nanny. Not at all revealing, but it'd still say certain clothes were too transparent or not appropriate if light hit them a certain way. Told me I'm too pale and should go to the tanning salon. Told me I dressed better at work than at home, and that it bothered him that I get cozy whenever I get home. Then he started getting way too involved in my job. Asked me to share my daily meeting calendar, text him constantly through the day, explain why I go on site instead of working from home. Told me to only take home office days when he was home. Give him way too much information about who XYZ is. Why do I have to work with him? Why is anything part of my job? So on. He read my emails, checked my work messages, my work phone, my gallery, contacts, and the same on my personal phone. Always fixated on convos with guys, never with girls. Slowly, he took over all my time. It felt like my entire day belonged to him. I left him twice, packed my stuff, went back to my parents, and I came back both times. I've had health issues every couple of months since moving in with him the first time. Before him, I was almost never sick. I've struggled with irritable bowel syndrome, acne, hair loss, 2 warts, and abscessed hair follicles. That had to be operated on 3 times. Ear infections, gluten intolerance, gingivitis, candidiasis twice, ovarian cyst infections, and weekly migraines. Honestly, I think my body started screaming what my brain wasn't ready to accept. Get the fuck out, I'm hurting. I know some of you might judge me more now after reading all this, but please believe me when I say I really didn't realize what was happening. I thought I was exaggerating. I thought this was just what relationships are like. I thought he would change. Then he'd see how much it hurt me and try harder. Then he'd start appreciating all the compromises. I never imagined someone could manipulate you this deeply while yelling at you, punching walls, throwing water on you. Yes, this did happen. And yeah, I made a lot of mistakes too. I wasn't honest with him many times because I knew the reaction would be explosive. So I hid stuff. I went to the gym without telling him. I vaped and didn't tell him because he banned me from vaping, alcohol, and clubbing. I lied and said I had in-person meetings at work just to get a break from the house he was in and leave. I even told him I had a car payment just to avoid explaining where my money for vapes and helping my parents went. And I believed that I deserved all of this because of the lies. I still kinda do, but I know that I want to break this cycle. I want to get better. I want to deserve someone better someday, because I haven't and I still don't. So thank you to everyone who's been messaging me. I haven't read every single comment, but 99.9% of the ones I did hit me like a slap in the face, in a good way. Each one opened my eyes a little more. So thank you. Fuck it, no matter how manipulated you are by a narcissist. When 10,000 strangers tell you to wake up, you do. Now I see things clearer. Tomorrow I will have a session with my therapist, the same one we saw in couples therapy. She knows the dynamic. We're going to work on a safe exit plan. I'm scared, but I know this has to end. And I'm so glad that OP's come out of this seeing through the fog in this situation, even if the commenters on Reddit got OP to see through that and his manipulation and his abuse. As always, it's very easy for us to say, oh, and OP should have got themselves out of that a long time ago. But clearly, when it's been normalized to this extent, it's really hard to see until people point it out to you right to your face. But I really hope that OP does make that safe exit plan and gets themselves out of that situation as soon as possible, because wow, that is awful. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.